Hello guys, here we learning the HACCP system and food safety. So for the food safety, HACCP given some principles. Last video we see the 7 type of principle basic views and some definition which is required to understand the HACCP process system and its principles. So today we are going to learn the all 7 principles in deep way. So before going to start discussion about the principle of HACCP plan, we going to know about the follow diagram. In this diagram we see how the food is going to process, which is step are given there. So we are going to learn first of all the food diagram. So here is the food diagram. First step, receiving beef. It's like having a raw material for the making food. Then second, grinding it, mixing it, forming, cooking, freezing, boxing, distribution, reheating and servicing. So its diagram simply showing that how our food is going to be processed. So here are given 10 steps of food processing. Okay, so clear about the flow diagram. It's a diagram which shows how our food or meal going to be processed step by step. Raw material, then grinding, mixing, forming, cooking, freezing, boxing, distribution, relaxing and serving. So in this flow we are going to check our food safety, means it is going to be contaminated, like it is there any hazard. If there is a hazard, which type of hazard is there, how we going to process it out, and how we can stop the hazardous condition, uh, or we going to control the contamination by the HACCP principle. Okay, so here given the flow diagram about the food processing. Okay, now we going to study about the HACCP 7 principle. By turn we going to learn all the basic form of principle. Okay. So our first principle is hazard assess and risk. So we going to understand which type of contamination during the whole processing of our food or meals. So through NRC there are 6 category given to assess the hazard, means to understand which type of contamination is there. They are given 6 6 categories for hazards, 6 category for the contamination. So first is, this is a special class of food that consists of non-sterile product designed and intended for consumption by individual at a risk, including infect, the age, infant and immunocompetents. Okay, so for the product which are non-sterile. Then B, the product contains sensitive ingredients related to microbial hazard. So like example, milk and fresh meat, which are very sensitive, easily contaminated products. Okay, then C, there is no control processing steps such as heat pasteurization that effectively destroy harmful microorganisms. So in the processing food there is no step of heat pasteurization, like specific step to control the contamination. Then D, the product is subject to recommendation after processing but before packaging. Example, pasteurized in bulk and then packaged separately. So pasteurization process is done, but we package it separately. So during the packaging there are any kind of contamination which are categorized in the D category. Then E, substantial potential for abusing handling exists in a distribution or by consumer that could render the product harmful when consumed. So the product to be refrigerated are held above refrigerator temperature. So it's the category type of handling, which type of handling you are doing, and there are chances of any hazardous condition or any contamination condition is categorized in the form of E category. Then there is a no terminal heat process after packaging or when cooked in the home. So after distribution, the serving process which we show in the flow diagram, during the serving processes is distributed in the F category. So after the terminal process, we are we are some buying a food packet and then we cooked at home, that there is any chance of contamination, it's categorized in the F form. Now there are assigned 1 to 6 hazardous category expanded from 4 suggested by the NRC. So a special category that applies to non-sterile product designed and intended for an individual in the category A. So A category. Then fifth, food products subject to all 5 general hazardous characteristics. So the fifth number is having the all characteristic 5 which are we categorize above. So it's all the category having the this type of contamination. Then food products subject to any 4 general hazardous characteristic, if it's going to have an only 4 characteristic, so it's going to have in a 6 category, sorry 4. Then third category, products subject to any 3 of the general hazardous characteristic. Then product subject to any 2 general characteristic, product subject to any 1 of hazardous characteristic, or product which having no hazards condition. So depend on the 6 types of product hazardous condition, we check it out and we see the result which in which categories the food is going to be having hazardous. So we check there are 4 type or 5 type, how many types of hazards or contamination present in our food. So next is second principle, determining critical control points. So now we are going know the hazards condition and which type of hazard is there. Now we going to decide critical control point on the following basis, like heat process step where time temperature relation must be maintained to destroy given pathogen. Then freezing and time of freezing before pathogen can multiply. Then the maintenance of pH of food product at the level prevent growth of pathogen and employs hygiene. So in this 4 type we going to determine the critical control point of our food. Okay, now we going to learn about the third principle is to establish critical control. So in the third principle we going to check the critical limits on the basis of CCP, critical control point. So to destroy microorganism we check its limit, that how many temperature or pressure it's going to be kill. So it's to set or check the critical limits of the microorganism to avoid microbial hazard, to control it. Like A critical limit is one or more prescribed tolerance that must be met to ensure that a CCP effectively controls a microbial hazard. So, it is a checking of tolerance of microbial hazard. Then the fourth principle, establish procedure to monitor CCP. So, in the fourth principle, we establish some monitor processing to check the CCP, like physical and chemical parameters like temperature, pH, water activity. We determine and record its result and continuous monitoring the process. Now, the fifth principle is establish corrective actions. So, after monitoring the CCP, we continues know about all the physical and chemical parameters of our food or any our products. So, we going to establish a corrective action. So, we going to try or eliminate the hazard or contamination which are present in the food. So, for that we going to take some actions like for the removal of the hazard, we going to plan to remove the hazard on the basis of CCP monitoring. Okay. Now, the sixth principle is establish procedure for verification. So, in the sixth principle, we establish procedure for verification. So, whatever process we done from hazard condition checking to given its CCP point, given its critical limit, then the action we taken for removal of hazards, the whole procedure start to end we going to verify the method, procedures and test to determine that the HACCP principle is following properly or not. So, we going to verify it, which type of hazard is there, which type of method we use for the CCP determination, then which type of critical limits are there, how we take the action to remove the hazard, and how the hazard condition in maintain, is there hazard remove or not. So, which type of procedure we use, which type of method we use, which type of temperature, pH we provide to remove hazard condition, whatever procedure we done starting to end, we going to check all the process again. So, it's called the verification. Like we fill up any online form, then we going to verify whole form to check the details are proper or not. So, simply in this principle we going to check the HACCP plan according the process is conducted or not. Then the seventh principle is establish effective record keeping system. So, in the sixth procedure we verify all the things. So, whatever we verify we going to make a record of it. So, it's the record keeping system. So, in the HACCP plans, whatever the procedure we done, the verification we done, the whole thing are going to take its record. So, the effective record keeping system we establish, it's called a seventh principle of record keeping system. So, the record is going to give the information whole thing about HACCP plans, like any other person is going to investigate the process of taken through it's according to HACCP plan or not, or it's going to check which method we use, which type of contamination is there. So, through going through the record we all know the which type of processing is done, packaging done, storage, distribution, how it's done, which type of contamination are there. Okay, so clear, the whole flow diagram is having its own record. So it's maintain the HACCP plan is correctly followed or not. How any other person know that we are follow all the rules and regulation or checking process? So the person is going through a record keeping system. So the last principle is very important to know, or HACCP plan is correctly operate or not. So it's very important to establish effective record keeping system. So we whatever we done, we have its keep effective record of the process. Okay, so it's all about the principle of HACCP plans. I hope you can understand it properly. In the next video, we are going to learn about the application of HACCP principle. Every 7 principles have its own application. So we are going to learn about its application. So all the principle you know it properly, I hope. Okay, so next video we going for the HACCP principles application, and here we learn the 7 principle of HACCP plan. Okay, thank you so much.